Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Brian with Today's Lean, and Shelly Avery's back with us. And we're going to talk a little deeper specifically about chat. We talked globally about collaboration in our last time together, but thanks, Shelly. Thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so take us a little deeper into the area specifically of chat.
Yeah, so chat. Traditionally, I think, way back in the day, we would just pick up the phone and call somebody. You never knew if they were available. You didn't request their permission to call them. You just dialed the number, and if they answered, you got a chance to talk to them. But we have, over the last couple of decades, we have really changed that in we know where people are, we know if they're available. Even on our phones, we can see if someone has read my message or not and why aren't
Oh,
they responding. We have this kind of like instant gratification
that's,
need.
yeah, you're right. You're so right. And just as you were describing that, I think of like Facebook Messenger. You know who's on right now, kind of thing.
Yeah, and so in Microsoft, in the technology world, we call that presence. Like, where
Okay.
is your presence? Are you green, available? Are you yellow? You might have stepped away for
Yeah.
lunch. Red, you're busy. And so when you can tell if someone is online or available or not available, you can quickly find out maybe they can answer my question or not. And so being able to have that at your forefront, chat becomes very powerful. Um, so if I'm a nurse and I need to ask a doctor a question, and the doctor I normally go to is a busy or offline, I don't need to waste my time sending the question to him and then sitting around waiting. I'll just go to the next person when to find that they are available to be able to get my question answered much quicker.
Yeah, and I think even that one little feature makes what the world we're entering into so much different because I think of our world just kind of legacy email. You send the email, maybe you get an out of office reply, and that's about it. But you never really know. In fact, I won't mention because I think it's a competitor, but there's a chat function we use. It starts with a J. And my primary use of it is to figure out who's actually available right now that I can
Yep.
talk to. So
Yeah.
very powerful stuff.
Well, and then so now even take that to the next level is we have what's called group chat. And
Yeah.
so I could put, if I'm a nurse, maybe I'm on a specialty unit for, orthopedics, or maybe even pediatrics, and we have 3 or 4 on-call docs for that specialty. I could create a group chat for those 3 or 4 on-call docs, and I could even name it, on call for pediatrics in this specific wing or unit. And I don't necessarily have to look and see who's available. I can just post the message to all 3 of them, and whomever responds first, I get the answer to. And then each of those doctors are aware that the question is being asked, they are aware that it's being answered. And so it allows us all to be in the know, even though we
Yeah.
might, maybe a doctor is in surgery or maybe he is out of office, he still knows that the conversation is going on and that my question got answered. So it becomes very powerful for everybody to know what's going on all the time.
Yeah, so that's really unique. In fact, that question came up just this week where we were asking some of the Microsoft people, is there an ability to message a group? Because we don't know, like, if we don't want to address necessarily a specific pharmacist, but we need a pharmacist to respond to this thing. So very cool stuff. What else is going on and exciting in the world of chat?
Yeah, so chat also, you can escalate, or what we call escalate a chat to a call.
Yeah,
So if I'm in a one-on-one chat, or say I'm in that group chat, and text messaging or using written word is just not cutting it. This is a more complex topic, and I need to speak with someone live to accomplish, the goal of what our question is or the challenge that we're coming. So you can just quickly escalate that one-on-one or group chat into a group call, and that can be ad hoc, um, or it could be scheduled. But just being able to turn that chat into a call very quickly, um,
Yeah.
is very useful as well.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, thanks so much for being with us again, Shelley, and taking us deeper on this topic of chat. And we'll talk again soon. All right.
Thank you.
All right. I thought that was cool. Yeah, that was very good. So
Yeah,
now
awesome.
we'll talk about video,
Yep.
right? And so here we go again.
All right.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. My name is Brian. I'm with Today's Lean, and returning again is Shelley Avery from Microsoft with us. Today, we're going to talk about video in the realm of collaboration and chat and all the other things we talked about. Hey, Shelley?
Yeah, thanks, Brian.
So talk to us about video. Well, how is, it's so pervasive, right? We're becoming so used to it, and maybe specifically how it relates to healthcare.
Yeah, so kind of back to our first conversation around how, we used to just pick up the phone, dial somebody and hope they would answer. A few years ago, video wasn't as pervasive as is today, but I think consumer chat or consumer apps that we have in our consumer lives has really made video much more prevalent. There's FaceTime on the iPhone, there's Messenger on Facebook, even Skype consumer world. When we were on vacation, we would, Skype our grandma to talk to her or whatever. And so, again, with the generations, video is becoming the natural form of communication for people. And just think about it, body language and facial expressions are so much it's easier to communicate when you can see somebody and easier to get to know somebody when there's video involved.
Yeah, and I know even in our efforts in healthcare, we have this nirvana, right? Kind of telemedicine, right? Where we're actually seeing the patient connected with the provider and or any other support people surrounding that need for that patient's journey. How do you see that happening with specifically in your world and Microsoft and what's going on there?
Yeah, we are seeing that a lot. We see a couple different versions of video in healthcare, and I think the most common one and the easiest one is clinician to clinician consults. So one nurse or doctor might be with a patient and they need an expert, maybe from a different facility or even from a different practicing hospital because they are the leading expert in that area. And so just kind of doing a quick video call, with the patient present or without the patient, video to video, being able to gather relevant information and have a conversation about symptoms or even checking vitals and things like that over video is happening in hospitals today very often.
Yeah. Can you foresee a scenario where there's multiple people, like patient, provider, maybe a specialist, maybe a home health nurse? Do you see those environments emerging now or the potential for them?
Yes, definitely. I'll give you one example. We're working with a children's hospital where they have enabled the local ISD schools with video equipment, and the nurses in these elementary schools might get a severe case and need to have a consult with a attending physician at the local children's hospital. But because that child is under 18, they need a parent or guardian present. And so they're doing a three-way video consult. And so what they do is they will call the parent or email the parent while the parent is at work. The parent doesn't have to leave their office. They can just get on either with their smartphone or on their PC, join in this video call with the child at the school with the nurse and with the attending physician at the children's hospital. So absolutely see multi-party video visits.
Yeah, that is amazing. What a practical way to do that. And anything else exciting on the Microsoft front in video that you want to share with us?
Well, maybe not as clinically pointed, but another thing that we're seeing in a lot of our providers and even our payer spaces from a healthcare perspective is large meetings, extra large meetings,
Oh, cool.
thousands and thousands of plus. And so you kind of look at this as like a town hall or an all company, all hands meeting where a president or maybe even a chief nursing officer or chief medical officer or lead of HR might be presenting to their entire department, and they need to give, quarterly updates or annual reviews or things like that. And so you might only have 3 or 4 presenters on the call, and then you could have thousands of attendees that are watching
Right.
it.
Yeah,
And so that's another area of video that's becoming more common as
yeah.
our customers are learning about the capabilities of the technology.
Amazing. That's exciting stuff. You can see it moving that way in the future. Well, thanks, Shelley, for spending time with us again this afternoon. And I'd love to have you back and talk about these items or more items in a deeper way. So thanks again so much for being on.
Yeah, it was fun. Good to talk to you today, Brian.